Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today and great to have you with me. So today we're looking at the other person in your world and we want to know if they're cheating on you. Are they cheating on you? And if they are, what's going on there? Is there any potential for them to kind of resolve this in a way where you both have a future? And if they're not cheating on you, do they have it within them to cheat on you? Is this a person that you can trust is really what we're looking at. Do you want to let them into your heart, into your world? Are they relationship material? Or is this somebody you want to give a very wide berth from in terms of trust issues that will only lead to heartbreak or disappointment at the very least? So lots to get through. Before we get started though, if you would like to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, before you on the screen, we've got 5 different piles of cards, and the idea is to choose a pile that resonates with you really clearly. Once you've made that choice, that will be your reading. Perfectly fine to choose more than one card if it comes through really strongly for you. And just remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. We've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. Now, taking a moment to connect with the cards, drawing in a nice deep breath, centering yourself, and listening to your intuition, your inner voice, the energy of the cards. Which of these piles comes through to you the strongest? Is it pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, or pile 5? Down below, there are 5 different timestamps representing each of these different piles. If you'd like to go to the pile that you've chosen, I'll see you in a moment. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 1. This is your reading and we're looking at the other person today and getting an understanding as to whether they're cheating on you or whether they will cheat on you. Do they have it within them to do this, or is this somebody who you can trust? Now, cards are on the table and I'm drawn up here to Justice and the King of Swords. I feel this is a really good start point that reflects the other person. You know, a very, very strong-minded person, kind of very masculine energy coming through. Somebody who, I don't feel like this is somebody who you want to mess about with. I feel like if you push this person too far, they could push back in a way where it would be very final. And whether that means kind of like, you know, just drawing a line under things so that you don't answer back or have anything further to say on the issue, or feel that you can kind of perhaps, you know, expand on what's going on, or whether that's physical, you know, in a way. I kind of feel there's a real edge there with this person. There's something a little bit, almost a little bit gangster, but I mean, I'm talking about an energy. It doesn't mean this person has to look like a gangster. My sense is that there's just something very edgy about this person, and I find that attractive at the same time. There's something about their self-assuredness. You know, they really know who they are on that level. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, they accept themselves for who it is that they are, and they don't have a problem with that. And if you've got a problem with that, that's going to be your problem, not theirs. So I think very strong boundaries on that level of just knowing where I stand, knowing what I want, knowing what I don't want. But at the same time, it's very, very self-serving. It's about my needs. It's about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm trying to achieve. And if that's what I want, and you're not going to support me in that, or you're not going to work into my plan in a way that actually helps me to get me what it is that I want, then, well, you know, I just have to put myself first. So I think, you know, very very sort of controlling, very smart, very quick, very intelligent person. Like, really got a big brain. You know what I mean? I kind of sort of like feel like this is somebody who's really all over everything. I don't feel like they say a lot. There's quite a reservedness here. And it feeds into this kind of mysteriousness about their I guess their whole personality. It's something very reserved, very quiet at times. I think this is somebody who can sit around and actually say not a lot at all. But when they do speak, it's like it just cuts straight through. It's like everybody hears it. Everybody listens to them. And I think where that's really interesting is because if they have something to say, and it's important, and they say it with some sort of authority, nobody will push back on that. So I get a decisive person who's quick to act, very self-assured, but also quite isolated in a way where I don't feel like they share a lot about who it is that they are. And for me, that feels a little bit problematic, because if I go back more to the past and looking over here to the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups, I feel like, the connection with you and this person is that it's sort of like they've been quite non-committal. I think on one level they've been there, but deep down it's like, am I really feeling this? Am I actually really feeling you come through in a way where you're actually on the same page as me? And there's, again, this mysterious charm comes up. It's a fact that you don't know where you stand that kind of keeps you wanting more. You want to know more about who this person is. I feel that, perhaps to some degree they've actually built an emotional presence, but it's an unreliable presence. I actually feel like this person is quite emotionally unavailable, to be fair with you. I think that they live very much in their head, and when it comes to actually articulating their feelings, I don't feel like they're very good at doing that. And I think they give hints of it. They give hints of how it is that they feel. And I think for you, it's actually been enough to keep things going. I think you've sort of thought within yourself, it's like, okay, maybe things aren't crystal clear. They're not black and white, but I get a sense that things are building here. And I feel we are making progress. And so I think you've worked with it very intuitively on that level. But the part of what I always feel here is that when things get pressed towards some kind of a commitment, when things get pressed to building up a picture that actually is inclusive of two people in a relationship, I feel like this person sort of edges more towards the door and leaving than they do about staying in the center and actually building something that's very solid and secure. Now, if I come down here to death and the Five of Cups, I think, for me, this kind of reflects more where you are. I think you've had relationships in the past that have let you down. I feel that leading up to this particular point with this person, I think there's been like a number of relationships that have been very involved, but have not led to that next stage of full commitment. And I think there's been a lot of disappointment around that. I think you've had a number of letdowns that have left you feeling very hurt. I get grief that's kind of carried through from the past. I feel like also this sense of loss for you. I kind of feel like there's it might not apply to everybody, but I feel like there is a sense of loss. It's almost like, people not being there for you when you need them has been a historic problem or issue. Maybe this goes back into your childhood, or it's a theme that kind of runs through your life in a way where it's like, when times get tough, the tough seem to get going, and I kind of feel in some ways, you're looking for that commitment with somebody who can give you a serious, the death is all about, seriousness. It's endings linked to new beginnings. The Five of Cups is a card of grief, and it's reflecting on disappointment and letdown. It's a very emotional card. It kind of feels very intensive with death. But death is also quite literal in some ways as well. I feel like there has been some kind of a death around you. It might be an ending linked to a new beginning. It could be the loss of a loved one. Maybe at this point in time in your world, you really need somebody to be with you at a time where there's great transition, great change. You want to anchor that with a sense of security where you can actually be with somebody who understands you, who cares for you, who wants to share things with you. It's human nature. That's not a wrong thing. That's actually what we all do. We want to connect and find love and acceptance. And I feel that a big part of what's going on for you is that you're very attracted to these people who seem to be very very masculine, very strong on one level, but also quite unavailable. And I think that can be sort of problematic because for me, this person, this person is one of these unavailable types. I think this is somebody who has some issues, and I've got here frightened by past relationships. Definitely, I feel like this is somebody who has had some very difficult times that are looking back into the history about relationships. I feel this is certainly about an intimate relationship in the past. But I felt this could go back much further as well for this person. Perhaps this is actually going right back into friends or childhood and family. People being emotionally unavailable for them, people letting them down, and so now they've kind of like almost absorbed that as a norm to become emotionally unavailable. I have some questions around this person's mental health as well. I kind of felt that they have a tendency to be a little bit negative, a little bit sinister. They expect the worst. I think they have a lot of trust issues around people and what people are like. And I feel like it relates back to their own unresolved grief with people letting them down, people getting hurt from other people. I felt there was a really strong sexual chemistry going on here. This unavailability, this tension of opposites. I think you wanting to be with this person kind of wanting to be with you, but also not available on one level. It fuels this really sort of intensive sexual energy for me. I felt that was very strong in this particular reading. But I didn't feel like it was, giving you the fulfillment that you wanted at a sort of very, very core emotional level. It just left you wanting more. This person's kind of gotten under your skin in a way where it's like, you don't want to lose them. You don't want to let them go. They have power over you. It's a power imbalance for me here. And I felt that this person really did know what they were doing on that particular level. Now, over here is the Hermit and the Queen of Pentacles. I felt for you, long-term, outstanding sense of wanting to settle down and find a secure place. Maybe for some of you, the idea of having kids. Queen of Pentacles is very much about nurturing the home, nurturing a secure environment with stability and financial, I guess, padding to give you some nice things in life so that you can actually bring children into the world and have a happy home. Maybe kids is what it's about for some of you, but it doesn't have to be for everybody. It could be that what some of you are also looking for is this idea of wanting to settle down and to just really build into a home environment that gives you a sense of belonging. The Hermit is looking to the past. It's saying this is something that I've always wanted. It's a very deep card. It's saying this really goes down into the core of who it is that I am. I really want to find a sense of belonging. I want to nurture a home life. I've got something that I want to give to people in a way where I really want to make changes to them and to me in a way that's very positive and transformative, but also quite spiritual at the same time. The question is, will this person cheat on you? Is this person cheating on you? I don't feel like this person is. The answer to the question, is this person cheating on you, is no. They're not. This person, I feel, has either cut away and left this relationship, or in their mind, they're very cut away and they're just not available at an emotional level within this relationship. So they're either present with you in a kind of cold and detached way, or they've left. I feel this person is not seeing anybody. I don't see anybody here in this picture, but I do feel that this person has the capability to cheat. I feel this is a person who can't help themselves. I think that they look out for themselves. I think that it's all about them. Everything that they do is really about getting ahead, being in control, making sure that they're not in an insecure position that leaves them vulnerable. I think this person lies as well. I feel like this person, is I'm not going to say that it's sort of, psychopathic or sociopathic or whatever the word is. But I feel that this person does lie. They have no morals on that particular level, and they don't think twice. If they have to lie to get to where they need to be, to get what it is that they want, they'll do it, and they won't think twice about it. They'll just make something up. So for me, I feel that this person is not somebody who's really considering the other person at an emotional caring level. This is somebody who, if they see something that attracts them, and it's not really so much even about the attraction. If they see that somebody else is there to give them what they want so they can get further ahead, they'll take it. And if that means sex with somebody else, if that means having some kind of a relationship that builds towards drawing some kind of a resource from somebody, I feel that they will do that. I felt that the other thing for me here with this person is there is a tendency to be a little bit abusive as well. Now, it might not be direct in a way where you're sort of saying this person's saying really horrible things, and I don't feel it's necessarily physically abusive. It's more about that it's sort of a psychological abusiveness, and it's the coldness, it's the detachment, it's the fact that they're not actually giving you nurturing or giving you a sense of belonging at a true heartfelt level that leads to an abusive arrangement, because at the end of the day, they've just become very unavailable, or they have always been very unavailable, okay? So deep down, I feel that this is somebody who has very unresolved grief. I feel that this is somebody who is very hurt within inside themselves. They're very insecure. I think they're very defensive as a consequence. I can see the attraction in this person. This is somebody who has a veil of mystery over them. I feel that this is somebody who looks very attractive. I think the fact that they're empowered by themselves or empowered by their motivations to be their own person, they have that self-assuredness. There's just something very solid about that really draws you in. But I also felt, by equal measures, that for you, there's been a series of very difficult relationships in your history, and that you're attracted to these types of people who are not giving you what it is that you need. You are light. Really, really lovely card. It's a card that really just indicates pure energy, light energy, and I feel this is you. You've been through some very tough times in your life. You've risen up against the odds. I feel that you are strongly stable. You have continuity and stability at the core of who it is that you are. I think that the values that you actually stand for in terms of wanting to have a life that is all about giving and nurturing and planning towards something that is much more deep and meaningful in terms of a connected existence in a relationship is very reflective of this particular card. The one thing about this card is that it's also indicated when somebody is there opaquing the light. The light of other people. The other people are opaquing your light, or you are letting them opaque the light that you have within, simply to make them comfortable. And I feel that that's actually what's happening here. I feel that you do know what this person is like. I feel that you do know what it is that you're not getting. I think that you do know that they actually are capable of cheating on you. Don't let them do it. Stand in your own light, but attract yourself to something that is actually more reflective of your purity, as opposed to something that is, as opposed to being attracted to something that you really don't need, okay? The Tower and the Seven of Wands. I felt that this was a really unstable connection. And I felt that this other person would move on in a way where they're just looking to make ground, grabbing at straws, clutching at straws, moving for. The Seven of Pentacles is about transitions, but it's about keeping on top of things. This person knows here with the Tower. There's an unstable connection. They're not putting anything into this in a way that actually gives it a future, let alone gives it a present. They're just letting it decay by not doing anything about it. The only reason why this is going is because you're the one that's actually giving it what it needs to survive. You're fanning the flame, in effect. But this person, they're not putting anything into it in a way that actually gives anything back to you. And I feel that this person is going to get to a point where it's just going to become unstable or untenable. And that they'll try and make a transition out of this particular connection. They'll grab onto other people. They'll grab onto other situations, other opportunities that really keep them afloat. Never really looking at who it is that they are, what it is that they're doing, and what their responsibilities are in order to have a more devoted relationship. Definitely this is somebody who can cheat on you, who will cheat on you eventually. I don't feel like they're cheating on you now, though. So I hope this reading has made some sense to you. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Please like and share this video where you can, and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card 2. This is your reading and we're looking at whether this person's cheating on you. And if they're not, will they cheat on you? Do they have it in them to cheat on you? Can you trust them is what we're really asking. Straight into the cards here. I've got some on the table ready to run with. I'm over here at Strength and the Four of Wands. Really strong bond between the two of you leading up to this particular point. I'm looking more into the past at the moment. Felt that you had a lot in common. It's like you've hit the ground running with each other. I kind of felt that this was a fairly fresh relationship. I didn't feel that this was a long-term relationship. For me, it's almost like a honeymoon period, getting to know each other, bouncing things off of each other in a very dynamic way. I feel like it's been intensive in that there's been a lot of growth between the two of you over a short period of time. It's kind of almost like you've been lost within each other. I don't think either one of you has really thought this through in a way where you've rationalized the experience. It's like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm really into you and you're really into me. And you've just kind of jumped in at the deep end in a way where I think things have been really positive. Like there's been a lot of upliftment and reward, really. You each time you come away from each other, it's a sense of vitality that kind of gives you a really good feel good factor. There's no heaviness there. There's no weight of expectation. It's just purely in the moment and kind of just seeing where things go at a very sparky, dynamic, and creativity comes up very strongly as well. Strength is a card of creativity. I think a very creative period for the both of you. It's also a very passionate card. So I felt there's very, very strong, intensive feelings that have worked up over a relatively short period of time. But it's like, pure opportunity. It's like, oh my gosh, this is really lovely. Let's just go for it type thing. So, you're just throwing yourselves into this opportunity in a way where you're carried away by feeling and the feeling's been very positive. So, lots of growth and reward. And the Four of Wands is a card of reward. It's a high yielding card of efforts where you're putting your efforts into something in a way that gives you a lot of return. I do think that the connection had also gotten to a point where it's like, okay, well, all of a sudden it's like, where's this going? What's the next stage? Are we going to invest into each other in a more sort of formalized way? I don't feel it necessarily means that you're going to sort of settle down and have kids or, tick all the boxes to sort of buy a house and, go into some sort of very conservative approach of having a relationship. But at the same time, I think that the two of you sort of thought, oh, we're moving towards something here. And perhaps we need to look at what that means as a part of a bigger picture. So maybe money and finances, combining resources, looking to make progress on different levels that are just, a bit above and beyond the more instantaneous pleasure of feeling and emotion, Very, very sexually dynamic relationship, I would have said as well. Very intensive feeling. I think I think you've both been really compatible, and I actually feel the two of you have actually fallen for each other quite deeply. Or I want to be careful actually there. Deeply. I don't know that it's deeply. I think you've just fallen for each other in a really light way, in a way that has been very pleasurable, and it's almost like you want to kind of maximize on that. Coming down here is the Sun and the Three of Cups. I actually feel these cards reflect you. I think you have felt really uplifted by this person. Very positive. I mean, the sun is a card of joy. It's quite ecstatic. Very high vibrational frequency in terms of feeling good. Feeling really solid with that as well. Very positive influence from this person. And, the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. Maybe you've been thinking, because, the celebration idea sort of lends towards maybe proposal. Maybe you've been thinking, oh, this could be the one. This could be the person who I'm going to be with. Maybe they're going to propose to me. If it's not a proposal, maybe it's some kind of hope or expectation. I'd say hope more about hope. That this is going to work towards something that will work into the idea of this person is the one for me. Sun, for some of you, not everybody, is also a card of children. Perhaps this is somebody who you see as being somebody who could give you kids or you could have kids with. But bare basics, I kind of feel that, it's just been a really positive and uplifting period of time with this person that's made you feel really great. I don't think you've had any kind of negative thoughts, and you've kind of gone with the flow on it yourself in many ways. I wonder whether you had actually come from another relationship. I'm looking at this more from a psychic end, a kind of feeling. Perhaps for some of you, maybe you've had a lot of bad experiences in relationships, and this has been somebody who's actually come into the scene or onto the scene and into your life in a way that's really just been such a positive expression. A really quite dynamic and exciting grab on what a relationship can be. It kind of breaks the mold for me. This creativity is really sparky, very, very dynamic. The commonality between the two of you, the fact that things are just kind of very easygoing, is it's quite lovely. But coming up here to the Hangman and the Eight of Cups, this person's pulled back. This person has pulled back. They've withdrawn. They've pulled their energy right back in a way where they've become very distant. I feel like they're not making as much time anymore. In fact, perhaps they've actually asked you for time out. They said, look, at the end of the day, I'm not sure where this is going. I need to get away. The Eight of Cups is about walking away from things. It's about cycles, maybe coming to the end of a cycle, or looking at this as a time for time out at the very least. Within this card, the individual is walking away to gain greater depth of understanding. It's a card that lends towards the Hermit. It's going on a journey within to really kind of wise up to what's going on in a way that gives deeper insight. And it's coupled with the Hangman. And the Hangman is a card that is very introspective as well. The combination of these cards is very deeply internal. And I feel this person's really withdrawn into themselves. The Hangman is a stop card. It pulls back. For it to move forward, it has to make a sacrifice. This person's saying to themselves, at the end of the day, this has been a really amazing experience, but where is this really going? Is this where I want to really go? It's like we've had a great time, and I feel like I need to really ask some deeper questions and to get a different perspective about what's going on. I've been really immersed in this relationship, in this connection, in a way where I've been completely absorbed by it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see anybody else here. I don't see another person. This person is not cheating on you. This person has withdrawn within them into themselves. They've gone solo. They've stepped away. They've pulled away from you. They've given some distance to you. But they've given themselves some distance, some space, some time, so that they can actually look within and try and understand what's going on. I don't feel this person would cheat on you. This is an honest person. This is a person who actually has a lot of insight, who goes very deep within. This is a person who searches the soul, who is in touch with their heart, who is actually very spiritual. This is also a very creative person as well. The Hangman is also a card of creativity. It has an artistic expression. It has a very fine-tuned perspective that really understands things from a very different angle. Strength is also a card of creativity. It's a very passionate card that it drives towards the creative expression as well. So I felt that this was a very sensitive individual who was very insightful and articulate on an emotional and a spiritual level. They look at the big picture. I think the two of you have been very caught up in your experience with each other, and this person's all of a sudden, put the brakes on and just essentially said that I just need to kind of figure out what my bearings are. Where is this all going? This has actually been really whirlwind and quite intensive in a really positive way. But all of a sudden, I just feel this kind of new cycle beginning within myself. The Eight of Cups is about cycles. So this person is going into a new cycle within themselves. They're saying, look, I don't want to continue on just, intensively going with the flow in a really positive way with you. But I kind of, because I need to pull back and figure out where I stand, what I want, where I'm going. Seek. This is a really important card because it reflects the idea of becoming too engrossed in a relationship. Have you become too engrossed? I don't think you have been, but I think this person has now realized they need to step back in a way where they've lost sight of who it is that they are. They've been very infused with you in a way where now they're saying, look, I need to step back and actually retreat. I need some solitude. I need some time. I need some introspection. What are my needs? Do I really want to have this relationship? I need some time out so that I can kind of just really reflect and let go and get back to center in a way where I kind of realign, retune my spirit, to find the truth, to find the meaning with the connection with you, but also the connection with themselves, to figure out what it means to move forward and to digest everything that's happened between the two of you. Whereas you are really kind of more in the moment, so saying, I just want to continue having more fun, and I'm not putting any pressure on you. I don't expect anything out of you. Why can't we just kind of keep on hanging out? Because, you just want to continue having a good time. Three of Cups is all about celebration. The Sun, it's all about positivity and light. I'm not asking anything of you. I don't expect anything more from you than we've just been kind of, doing, which is just having fun, being in the moment. But this person has their own process. Before we go there, overthinking can spoil the magic. For you, I think it's really important not to kind of tip over into this sort of analysis paralysis where you start to think everything over in a way that becomes sort of, in search of what's going on, because you don't know what the process of this person really is. It's very important to keep a positive mindset. I think your instincts play a really important part here as well. I think your instincts have been very in tune with this person. You've both gone with the flow in a way where things have been very natural because you've both just followed your instincts. Your instincts won't let you down now. And I think if you reflect on your instincts without any over-analysis, you'll actually find that the connection is really solid with this person in a way that's actually just very honest. And honesty will always get you to where you need to be. So I feel that for you at the moment, it's really about not blocking yourself in a way where you begin to panic. Sometimes, magic needs a little bit of space to kind of reformulate itself, to retune in a way that actually gives it more of a dynamic boost. And this person is just, really walking away in a way, they're walking away or retreating from an intensive experience that's become actually quite exhausting. And because they're quite sensitive, they actually do need a bit of time and space, maybe more so than you do. I feel that this is going to be fine. Justice and the Eight of Pentacles. Justice is about getting a balance, understanding, figuring out where things are at from a very truthful point of view. It's about looking at the overall situation and making a judgment based on facts and figures, but it's also weighting what's fair and just, yeah? I think this person's going to come to a point here with the Eight of Pentacles. It's like, we've actually made quite a lot of progress. We've got a solid foundation. We've actually started to carve out a life together in a way where this has actually given us not only a reward, but it's also given us a pathway to move towards further success. And the Eight of Pentacles is all about further success. It's about working hard at making an inroads towards your goals. And it's not just your efforts, it's also about the manifestation of those efforts. And so for me, I feel this person is going to have some time out, but then they'll come back in a way where they'll actually get a balance, get a grip as to where they've actually been at. And they'll be able to kind of retune and refocus their attention on you that can give it further momentum. They essentially what they've done is they've rekindled their energy, they've rekindled their focus, they've spiritually and emotionally realigned themselves back to the purpose of what the connection is with the two of you. So I feel this has got a future, but I definitely don't feel anything going on here in terms of this person cheating on you. I don't feel this person has it within them to cheat on you. If this is somebody who you can really trust, I actually feel this is a very deep and meaningful person, a very sensitive soul who is really into you. And I feel that this is a connection that has a future. I hope this reading has made some sense to you. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Please like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you are interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, You can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much. Take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card 3, and we're looking today at whether this person is cheating on you, and if they're not, do they have it within them to cheat on you? Can you trust them? So we've got some cards ready to go with here, and I'm up here with the Hermit and the Queen of Wands. I feel that this person is really vacant at the moment. You know, there's something very disconnected about where they're at. Am I in? Am I out? I kind of feel like they're sitting on the fence a bit. And before we sort of jump into whether they're cheating on you or not, I felt they were very preoccupied with their work. That's what I feel as well. Queen of Wands, tired about work, efforts towards your career in particular. I feel like this person's not at a place where they really want to be, in terms of their career. I think they're falling short of reaching goals in their life that have really caused them to sort of pull back a little bit and reflect. But I also felt that they had reached a point within this connection with you. I feel this is a relationship. I kind of feel like they're not making the effort to take it to the next level. They're falling short, and they're not putting in the focus where it needs to be so that you feel confident. There's a lack of sexual engagement here for me as well. I just don't feel that they're being fully forthright in a passionate way. There's just something very reserved, conservative. It's very pulled back. And it gets into the idea of trust for me, because I feel this is a person who isn't happy with where they're at, and that they are looking outside of the connection with you. The Queen of Wands is looking away from the central point in this particular reading. It's a far-reaching card in terms of making effort, but also looking at its horizons. What else is on the horizon? I feel like this is a bit of a rubberneck. Somebody who you might be with, and you'll be walking down the street, and, they're kind of looking at everybody else. And, if something kind of, sparks up their fancy and walks by, they tend to have a look and see what it is and what it's all about, and it's not that it's being disrespectful, but it's just losing their bearings on where their focus really should be at this particular time. I think that they're not happy about where they're at. Coming down here to win or lose, I felt that there was some issues going on within this relationship. I feel that there are disagreements, that the swords are all about issues and conflict, drama. I felt that there were some unresolved problems were some perhaps arguments or fighting or disagreements that were flaring up. And it's, like creating a divide between the both of you. One person is on one page and the other person's on a completely different page. I kind of feel like you're split down the middle here. And I feel like there's constantly like a problem going on in a way that kind of leaves you to feel that there is no resolution so that you can be on the same page. It's like you're no longer equals. You're both in very separate places on very different pages with different weights in terms of your values, your motivations, your desires. But, this fighting thing is really big. If I come up here to Death and the Knight of Swords, I think this person can be really reactive. If you really put them on the spot and try and pin them down about where this is all going, what's actually happening, maybe even confronting about the idea of feeling that, something could be going on. Are you cheating on me? All you're going to get is a really explosive reaction that will go into complete denial as well. I feel this is somebody who doesn't want to face the problems that are actually right in front of them. There's a tendency to maybe use anger as a tool to put things in their place, maybe to scare you off, distract you, push you back. I mean, the Knight of Swords is a really volatile card. It can go hard left, hard right, and everything in between. It really rattles things up. And Death is a card that feels, paired together. I mean, the Knight of Swords feels that he has everything to lose, or they have everything to lose if they actually confront the truth. So facing death, facing the truth of what's going on, they don't want to do that. they're resistant to it. They'll throw out all the stops to distract you, but also to distract themselves. This is somebody who doesn't really want to look within. And that's actually really apparent over here with the Hermit and the Queen of Wands. The Hermit is a card of deep inner reflection. It's about getting to the truth. It's about looking at what you need so that you can move forward, move on up. The Queen of Wands, it's a card that is sort of, high on the order in terms of being at the top, but it's not at the top. This person is ignoring what it is they need to look at so that they can actually give this what it takes to take it to the top. Yeah? But that also requires responsibility, and this person doesn't want to take the responsibility to actually look at themselves. So I feel that there's a lot of distance at the moment. A lot of distance from you, a lot of distance from themselves and about the truth of what's going on. I feel this person is distracted by other people when they're out and about. I feel historically this is a very social person. Looking over here to the Five of Wands, I feel this is somebody who's been really out in the mix. Lots of friends. I think they've also played the field, in terms of, who's been on the scene until they met you. I think they'd be really happy in that element. They like to be the center of attention. And I think that they're actually missing that at the moment. I feel that this person doesn't feel that they feel like they're anything special. And when they look to the past, in the past, they're out in the scene, in the mix with a whole load of other people. Socially, they felt really attractive, that there was the potential to maybe get whatever they wanted. Maybe this is about power, maybe about feeling attractive. Maybe they miss feeling that other people find them attractive in a way that makes them feel special. It's not to say that you're not making them feel special. This is about a lack within themselves. I feel that this person's work is really important in this particular reading. If I look back to the past, this is somebody who has actually been very committed to the idea of work. I think they've been in a very competitive field. I think they've been working really hard to get ahead, but they haven't made it. They haven't gotten to the top. I feel like this person's a little bit deflated, that their ego is taking a bruising. They're not feeling or fulfilling the ideas and expectations of who it is that they thought that they would be, both in their professional life, but maybe also in their personal life. So they're looking for some other kind of stimulation. If somebody nice looking walks down the street, they're attracted to it, but they also want to know if that person's attracted to them because they want some validation. This person doesn't feel validated within themselves because they can't validate themselves. Looking once again back to the past, the Hierophant is also about a card of commitment. It's a card of settling down. It's a card of, historically, it's a card of marriage, or symbolically, it's a card of marriage. It's the idea of the church, contracting with another person. I think this person has, again, played the field, but I think that they've also not wanted to settle down with anybody at any time ever before. That they've always gone from one relationship to another. The challenge of meeting a new person. It's kind of almost a bit of a conquest idea for me of sort of, finding somebody new, the challenge within that relationship, getting to a point where then you feel bored. There's nothing really left to get out of it. It's exhausted in a way. Is this person cheating on you? I do feel that there is somebody here on the scene that reflects a person who they could be seeing. I feel that this is not an intimate relationship in a loving sense, but I do feel that this is a relationship where they have begun to form some kind of connection that is moving in that direction. I don't feel that this person has actually gone out and slept with somebody else, but I feel that there is certainly the idea of somebody being on the scene and them circling very close to this other person. The Queen of Wands is reflective of an individual. The Hermit points to the past. I feel like this is somebody maybe from this person's work. They've been very involved socially at work. The Five of Wands is once again about work, but it's also the social nature of work as much as it is about the social nature of your personal life. I feel like maybe this person has been working very hard. They're not getting fulfillment in their job to sort of tick the box in terms of their responsibilities or their professional, I guess, goals. And they've become very disheartened about where everything is going in life. And, the idea of something a little bit spicy on the side has begun to appeal to them. And I feel that that is where things are heading. And my sense is that if you put them on the spot and you really try and pin them down about this, then they will actually deny it. They don't want to look at it. This person's stuck in a rut. And they're not prepared to put in the hard efforts to either make the relationship with you as a success, or to self-realize what they're actually doing in terms of their own process. I think for you, you've been very reflective about what's going on. I feel that there has been a lot laid down in terms of the foundation of this particular relationship. I think, this could be a lot of years for some of you. And if it's not a lot of years, it's definitely a many number of months. I feel that there is sufficient investment from your perspective to really figure out what's going in a very careful, considerate way. Yeah. That's what the Seven of Pentacles is saying. It's a reflective card. It's looking at what has been manifest in terms of your efforts. And also it's the idea of, do I stick with this in a way where I actually invest into the future with it? If we come over here to the World and the Four of Wands, I think for you, it's like you're really just kind of really meditating on this in a way where you're sort of trying to figure out whether there's any success in terms of its potential with this particular person. I think you'd like to be convinced otherwise. I think you would like not to think that your gut instincts are telling you that this person is off the rails and looking elsewhere. I think you would hope that this will actually succeed in a way that, your doubts are basically proved to be wrong. I think that if you just leave it up to this person to continue on the way that they are, they will end up deceiving you. They will end up doing something behind your back, and they're not the type of person to confront it in a way where they actually tell you the truth. They will go into denial. For me, I feel that the damage has already been done to some degree. I can certainly see there is a personal developmental issue here for this particular person, but I think fundamentally for me, this person is just not prepared to make the correct efforts in a loving way in this relationship so that it actually succeeds the way that you would hope that it would. Yeah, I feel like this person's a little bit lazy. I think that they're actually a little bit controlling with the way that they actually, with the way that they actually use their anger and their frustration, because they don't want to face what's going on. I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card 4. This is your reading and we're looking at the other person. Can you trust them? Are they cheating on you? And if they're not cheating on you, do they have it within them to cheat on you? Cards are on the table, let's jump in. I've got the Chariot and the Six of Swords. I feel like this is a very good looking person. If they're not good looking physically, they're definitely good looking in terms of their energy. There's something very attractive about them. They stand out in a crowd, most definitely. This is a person who walks into a room and all eyes are drawn to this person. They kind of command an audience in a way where they just really know what they've got and they know how to work it. I think there's a real confidence here that comes through. A very strong personality type who can talk people around. I think this is a really good salesperson. You might be thinking the opposite to what this person says when they're having a conversation with you about a sort of particular topic, and by the end of it, they've kind of got you on board in a way where you feel confident that they're actually right. I think that they can be very, very pushy to get what it is that they want. So it's definitely a pushy. I mean, the Chariot is a pushy energy, and it's a very egotistical energy. The Chariot knows what it wants, it knows how to get it, and it knows how to work it, It's not so much about resource as it is about just determination. And it's a very convincing determination that really kind of is leading towards success in many ways. So this is somebody who is very super focused on getting what they want. I did feel that this was a fit person, in shape perhaps. But I do feel that they're straddling two different worlds. There's there's the world that they project outwardly, and then there's quite a different world that's deeper down or behind that facade. And I'll come back to that in a moment. Coming over here to the past, the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups, I feel a really strong connection between the two of you. You're very loving, very committed, and I feel the two of you are very sensitive to each other. For me, there's a bit of a soulmate connection going on here. This is quite an important relationship. I felt that this person had come out of another relationship before they'd met you, and that was a relationship that they hadn't fully gotten over. Not to say that you were on the rebound. I think that you were firmly in their focus shortly after, but when they met you, and even probably up until now, I just don't feel like this person's ever really let that person go. And I feel that this idea of them betraying you in some way, and maybe in cheating on you, is not the first time that this has come up. I think this is like a stuck on repeat issue or topic that seems to keep on coming up for him or her, for them. I don't want to be gender specific, but for whoever it is, I kind of feel like for them, it's like they act very disappointed every time it comes up. So how could you do this to me? Why would you say that about me? You know how much I love you. I'd never put us at risk. So so they're really playing that emotional card that really appeals to like a sensitive, I suppose, heartfelt nature that sort of says, like, I love you. I would never do that to you. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, and I have to be honest with you here. I feel that there is somebody else around. I feel that there is something going on behind the scenes. If I come up here to the Six of Swords, it's indicative of somebody else being on the scene. There's a third person here. And I feel that this person is somebody that they have history with, and there is something that hasn't finished with them. It's unfinished business. And they're trying to, it's not so much that they're trying to even resolve it. I think that they're just behind the scenes seeing each other in a way where they're covering it up. I mean, the swords are all about the past. And if we look to the past, we have you and this person, but we also have something that they've left behind here with the Five of Cups. The cups that are spilled. This is emotional disappointment. This has been let down. It's grief. The two cups standing here, I feel that this is an indication of the both of you in a way where your relationship has been very upstanding. It's certainly been a priority, but this person's never really gotten over what it is that happened. The Wheel of Fortune is all about risk, yeah? It's a card that can jeopardize opportunities in a way where you don't see what's coming. There's an unknown factor with the Wheel of Fortune. It kind of, it's whatever spins around your way is what's going to sort of land on your plate. And I kind of feel that this person was let down by this past relationship, wasn't resolved in terms of what it is that happened. I feel that there was a deep emotional connection to that other person. They've met you. They've moved forward towards a very successful outcome with you. But this other person has come back onto the scene in a way where they've been distracted by them. And I feel that outwardly, they're very confident, even cocky, very sure about what they're saying, who they're being, nothing to see here type of thing. I get a very egotistical, very attractive person who is really focused on you. Don't get me wrong, because I really feel that they're very focused on you. If anything, what comes through in this reading is that this person actually really loves you. And definitely sees you as a soulmate. That's very strong. Coming down here to the Two of Cups, very strong card in terms of, like a soulmate connection. Very, very tied into each other, quite intrinsically, very spiritual connection. But it's coupled with the Tower, and the Tower is all about instability. And this person doesn't want to face what it is that they're doing in a way that would actually jeopardize the relationship with you. They don't want to lose you. They feel that there's too much to lose by losing you. For them, you are their everything. And to lose you means that they would actually be brought undone within themselves, to be fair. I think what's difficult about this person over here at the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups, this is a person who's actually really sensitive. The High Priestess is a very instinctual card, it points to instincts and intuition on some levels. It's a very psychic card because it's about seeing into the future. But it's also a very murky card. It doesn't really want to show us the full picture. I feel this person is very sensitive deep down. They have a mask of ego nature as a compensation to that. I think this person is actually quite an emotional character. But there's something a little bit psychic also about them as well. I kind of feel like they have that degree of sensitivity, and maybe they cover that up. I don't feel that this person deals with their feelings. As soon as and you can see that here with the Ace of Cups, because as soon as they try to look in deep at a deeper level, through the veil of the High Priestess, they walk away from it. They can't deal with it. They don't want to face what's going on at a deeper level. They feel quite vulnerable. And their idea of dealing with that is to walk away from it, to pretend it's not happening, to cover it up with this kind of really strong, almost kind of over the top masculinity. And I'm saying masculinity. I mean, this could be anybody. It's just the idea of compensating with that particular energy. I think the other thing that I find quite interesting about this person is that nothing's black and white to them. Everything's a shade of grey. So there's no right and there's no wrong, which is very convenient because you can bend the truth. And bending the truth means that you can cover things up with a shade of grey that kind of for them, it's just like when they say, nothing's going on here, and they deny that they'd be seeing anybody else, if it ever came to that, they would just say no, and they would cover it up. But their idea of what they're doing is that they're telling just a white lie. They're just bending the truth a little bit, and they're not actually telling so they're not lying in their mind. Okay. I think for you though, coming down here to the Six of Cups, this is this is a bit of a two-faced card, because on an outward level, everything's nice and being presented really lovely. This person's being, you're the focus of this person's attentions in a way where they're actually really quite romantic. And I feel like there's some very traditional values going on there with this person as well. It's like, maybe they're making all the right sounds about, the future with you, wanting to kind of set up shop. And when I say set up shop, I mean, settle down. Maybe for some of you have kids, maybe for others, it's about the idea of, living the dream, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be rosy is what they're saying. But, behind this card, you've got a character down here that kind of points to something that's not quite right. So what you're seeing on the surface is not really what's going on behind the scenes. It's time to take the rose-tinted glasses off and actually see who this person really is. And you need to trust your instincts on that level. Because otherwise they're going to continue to convince you that everything is fine, nothing to see here. And I felt that this person would stop seeing this person, actually. You can see that over here with the Eight of Cups. They'll see that there's no certainty in a future with this other person. Whatever it is that they need to resolve will be resolved. This person will move on. But the question for me is, can you trust them? Will they cheat on you? I kind of feel that they already are. They're lying to you. And I felt that they had it within them to do it again if it ever came up. This is a person who bends the truth, who maximizes on the shades of grey, of things being ambiguous. They're not a black and white person. They won't tell you the truth if they don't feel that it's convenient for them to get what it is that they want. And I'm not saying that there is malice there, but I think that this person is just very determined to have things their own way. They want their cake and they want to eat it, is what I'm saying to you. Detach is a really important card. I kind of feel that with this, it's more reflective of where you're at. It's really about letting things go. And in the case of what's going on here, it's letting it go in a way where you can give yourself some distance to get perspective. Because I kind of feel that you're right in the center of this person's focus, and they're so convincing of making it look a particular way. And they're such an attractive, charming person on another level that, there's almost like a sort of it's almost like you become spellbound by them. And I think it's time to wake up from that. And the only way to do that is actually to give yourself some distance to see it for what it really is. And I think once you're out of that range, where that person has that spell effect over you, you'll quickly see the focus of what's really going on in a way where you hadn't before. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome to card 5. This is your reading and we're looking at whether the other person is cheating on you. Do they have it within them to do that? And if they're not cheating on you, can you trust them in the future? Not to do it. So cards are on the table. I'm going to jump straight in and I'm up here at Strength and the 4 of Cups. And I kind of feel that this is a difficult situation. I do feel that there is a third person on the scene. I feel that there is somebody who is stirring the pot and making trouble and trying to get this person's attention. If I look more to the past, come over here to the Empress and the 6 of Swords. I do feel that there has been a previous connection with this person. A third person is really clear here with the 6 of Swords. I don't feel that they have been involved with them in a way where they've actually been intimate or that they've actually tried to, develop a relationship of some sort. I feel that this third person is somebody who has really been trying to get the attention of your partner or the person that you're with. And that they've tried to generate some kind of outcome that really is about what it is that they want. I do feel that there is a strong connection here, some kind of a link between the two of them that indicates that there is maybe even a history. Maybe they've seen each other in the past and this person has come back on the scene in a way where they're really trying to, to try and make something out of it. And I get a sense that this other person doesn't really have any scruples. They're not really interested in you or anybody else that this person that you're with is connected to. They're just singularly focused on what it is that they want in a way that takes no prisoners, really. I feel that, here, that this has been a really, it hasn't, there's been no beneficial outcome for this third person. I think that your partner or the person that you're with has gotten to a point where they said, look, there's no future in this for me. There's no future in this for us. This is not what I want. I don't feel anything for you. So it's kind of more transactional. I just don't pick up any feeling or intimacy or link that gives me an indication here that there's any kind of a thing going on that is to be worried about. And if I come back over here to Strength and the 4 of Cups, this person, your partner, the person that you're having a connection with, a relationship with, I feel that this is a relationship. I'm skirting around it, like I don't want to say it, but the reality is that you actually have a really strong bond. I kind of feel like this is actually a real thing between the two of you. There's a real solid, kind of almost spiritual connection. I think the two of you have a lot in common. I can see that down here with the two of Pentacles. There's a real lovely balance and flow here with this relationship. And I feel that the two of you have a lot in common. Maybe you even have a history. Maybe you've known each other for quite a long time. I kind of feel like the two of you have been, I say skirting again. I kind of feel like the two of you have been skirting around each other in a way where maybe all of a sudden this is the right time. This is the chance for you to both make something out of it. I kind of feel like this person that you're with, they're saying, I want to be with you. Justice is about making decisions. It's about decisive action. It's like, look, I'm looking at what's going on here. I'm looking at who you are. I can see what we have together. I feel what you feel. I feel that we're both on the same page. I feel like this is a really amazing opportunity for us to kind of do something that is a bit special, that we have a future. Justice is all about, making a fair and just account of what's going on in a way. I feel, this person's quite level-headed. I don't want to say rational, but I think that, they're not easily swayed in a way where they can be fooled into, or fooled out of an opportunity that they can see that's actually staring them, squarely in the face with you in respect of, this opportunity to actually have a really lovely... So it's all about strengthening bonds. I kind of feel that there's a really solid underpinning here in terms of what the both of you have, because there's a very strong connection, not just at a spiritual, but also a physical level, emotional level, psychological level. I think, you just share a lot of values. And I kind of feel like you're moving towards something that's really secure. But back up here to strength and the Four of Cups, this other person, as I say, they don't have any scruples. They're not thinking about you. They're not even thinking about your partner. They're just thinking about themselves. And I kind of felt that there was something a little bit untowards there. I kind of feel that perhaps that person is pulling out all the stops to get your partner's attention. Trying very hard, maybe networking in with other people in a way where it's, they're putting pressure on your partner to kind of get, their attention, to make it really clear, to make it really obvious that, that they are making efforts to essentially to make a coup, to take them down, to take this person down. I want to say take them down in a way where, they win, their heart, win the day, to get them on track in the way that that they want in terms of securing like a connection and a potential future there. So this person is very motivated. I kind of feel that's actually very clear to me. But I feel that you can trust your partner. They're resistant to what's going on. They know what's going on, and they're not happy about what's going on. And I think that they're trying to put some distance into the mix here in a way that separates them. But perhaps there is like a social network here that makes that a little bit difficult, a little bit tricky to kind of politically, draw a line under what's going on in a way where there's no fallout in the greater, wider social network. So I kind of feel that there is a sensitivity here. Perhaps it requires some diplomacy in a way that I feel that your partner actually has the skill set to master in terms of an outcome. And I feel outcomes are what this is all about with this particular reading. The World and the Six of Pentacles, I kind of, again, I feel that the outcome here is a really positive one, a favorable one for you, but also for your partner, because they know what they want and they know what they want to give you. Their focus is actually about a successful outcome with you. The balance is with you. They want to give everything that they have to you. Yeah, they want just the two of you in the picture. They don't want this third person around. And I can see that again down here with the Two of Pentacles. It's all about the balance of this relationship, the strength of the bond that you have together. And I feel there's a very secure future here. And I think for you, you're really focused on this idea of really laying down the foundation as to where this connection is going in a very solid, secure way. I think the both of you are also very financially focused at the moment. Money seems to be playing a really big part in this reading. I think that, that there are opportunities around the both of you that can be secured, can be exploited in a way where you really have a dynamic future that builds on not only the connection, but also builds on a financial foundation to give you both a lot of security to take things to the next level. Yeah. That can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Perhaps it's about, a home, housing, just some the comforts of life to actually pad your world in a way where, you're building material success together. And I feel that there's a really good future here for the both of you. But I think you have to be really patient at the same time, because I feel that this other person is networked into your partner's world in a way where it's not as easy for them just to kind of dismiss it in a way where well, I think that they are going to dismiss it, but there are connections through other people that bring us just a little bit closer to home, and it's a little bit more difficult to manage than would be comfortable. Yeah. But I think that your partner will find the balance to separate from this person, to separate from the issue, and to draw a line. And I feel that boundaries is what this is all about. Yeah. The stronger your bond is together, the stronger the boundary is that you have from this other person having anything to do or say and influence the world that you share together. I hope this reading has made some sense. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Bye.